lot of diplomatic action in Xolani today, our capital. Also watching it from Europe now, business editor Xolani Mbanjwa. He's in Davos in Switzerland at the World Economic Forum. Some more insights from him now on the relationship between South Africa and Germany. Xolani, good afternoon to you. We all enjoy watching the diplomacy. What's really going to matter is the economics. How important is this visit?
Good evening, good afternoon, rather, Stephen. This visit, that visit rather, in that part of the world there is quite important to bilateral relations between South Africa and Germany. This is a massive, when it comes to the trade relations. We remember that a couple of years ago, billions of rands were poured by BMW when that Chancellor was here, Angela Merkel was here to actually invest locally in South Africa. It is quite important for those relations. And something that is also quite important is the fact that here in Switzerland we are a few kilometers really from Germany, and on the other side it's Italy as well. And many people were wondering whether that engagement over there should not have taken place here in Switzerland, as there are many heads of state who are here too. But it's quite an important discussion that is being held there, and people are wondering, in fact, what is going to come of it, because there are a lot of discussions and bilateral discussions that can take place where we can help Germany in terms of our coal, although they are moving towards green energy, and while at that Germany can also help us when it comes to the crisis that we have when it comes to energy and green energy in particular. And that's a whole discussion here in Davos, because climate change has become quite topical, and it's something that has involved a lot of locals, South Africans, who are part of this discussion, because they are linking what is happening in KZN and in the Eastern Cape with the flooding there with climate change. But as you've heard from the president, he was talking about how important it is, this German visit is, for South Africa when it comes to innovating in terms of our energy needs as a country. And this is what President Ramaphosa had to say earlier on when it comes to green energy and making sure that we have renewable energy initiatives to support Eskom with its needs.
Germany has rendered extensive support to Africa's effort to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Germany was the first country to respond to calls from the Act A Facilitation Council, which I co-chair with the Prime Minister of Norway. It was a call to ask countries to contribute their fair share towards ending the pandemic. We welcome Germany's announcement at the second Global COVID-19 Summit earlier this month that it will donate, which you articulated, 850 million euros to assist poorer countries to increase their vaccination rates, and 50 million euro to the Pandemic Preparedness Fund. You were quite forthright and very strong in the summit that we held as convened by President Biden of the United States.
Xolani, it's also interesting that this is quite an important visit, clearly, for the German Chancellor. It's his first trip to Africa since he took over the position. Angela Merkel, of course, in office for a very long time before him. The fact that he's come to visit us, state visit, nogal, all of the pageantry that goes with it, shows you for the Germans this is quite an important visit.
That is quite an important visit indeed, because here in Davos you have a lot of heads of state, Stephen. You have a lot of entrepreneurs, philanthropists. We saw Bill Gates, we saw Patrice Motsepe earlier on. We saw a lot of powerful people moving in and out, attending some of these discussions. So the fact that the German Chancellor has chosen to come to South Africa, even as this important gathering is taking place in Switzerland, speaks volumes about how important South Africa is to Germany, and in particular the role that South Africa plays as a gateway, and yes, it's still the gateway to the rest of Africa when it comes to investments.
Xolani, obviously the other issue, of course, is when you look at what is happening around how the world economy is so interconnected. I mean, for the Germans, it's quite important that we actually have electricity that doesn't come from coal. This shows you how interconnected things are now, the global economy and the way it works.
It is, and you just have to look at what COVID-19 did to the global economy. You just have to look at what the war in Ukraine that is being waged by Russia has done to world markets. And just to speak on that, whatever happens in the rest of the world, we actually feel it here. And that is why it's so important that these leaders come together and actually see what they are going, and actually anticipate what is going to happen. But as everybody here will tell you, it is quite important for all the leaders to speak with one voice and do everything they can for humanity. If you are here today, you will hear a lot about what is happening in Ukraine and what the world should be doing. And it's something that is quite important as well, that this particular gathering is discussing how global markets are entering tumultuous waters and how the global economy has been impacted. 2021, the global economy was growing at 6.1%. In 2022, due to the war in Ukraine, it's tipped at 3.6% by the World Economic Forum. So these gatherings are crucial, particularly when you make decisions about the economic recovery of the world.
Xolani Mbanjwa, thank you. Before I let you go, just to update you on the weather forecast for where you are in Davos. It's heading into the middle of summer in Switzerland. It's raining today. It's forecast to rain tomorrow. It's forecast to rain on Thursday. And it's forecast to rain on Friday. If you get back, by the way, just in case you're wondering, in Randburg, in our studio, there's sun today, sun tomorrow, sun on Thursday, sun on Friday, and sun for the weekend as well. And we're heading to winter. Xolani Mbanjwa, we miss you. I think you miss us a little bit more.
I do. It's quite cold here, 10 degrees, and it's summer. It's supposed to be summer, but the locals are walking around in shorts while we are in blankets almost here. It's quite cold, but according to the Swiss, this is the summer.
Xolani Mbanjwa, thank you. There's a voice in my head which suggests you should bring us some Swiss chocolate when you return. Xolani Mbanjwa is our business editor. Wrap up.